Hey everyone, Graham here with you for another edition of Thoughtful Thursday, and today's going to be a lot of fun. We'll do a little story time, okay? I'm taking you back into the Graham Barber vaults to about 11 years ago when I was on a road trip with my best friend Taylor. So we were driving from Tampa, Florida, all the way to a place called Port Gibson, Mississippi. And if you've never heard of Port Gibson, Mississippi, it's probably because not many people have, right? Backwoods, deep south, one stoplight town. I mean, they refer to the Civil War as the war of northern aggression. I mean, this is the kind of environment. But we were going there because there was a job opportunity for us at a military boarding school. And Taylor and I both served in the Marine Corps, so we were excited about this. We toured the campus and just had a great time. We had a mutual friend and the commandant that worked there. So we had a great time there at the military boarding school. In the second portion of our road trip, we were headed to a city just outside of Dallas, Texas. And we were going there to meet a friend and mentor, a longtime mentor of Taylor's father, a guy named Marty. And so Taylor never met Marty, but had heard a lot about him from his dad. So we traveled another 6 hours west to get to Marty's house. And he's just, I mean, he and his wife are just so pleasant, so wonderful, wonderful people. They welcome us into their home. They have a room already set up for us. And we just think, man, this is going to be a great time. Anyways, Marty knows that Taylor and I served in the military. We're still serving in the military at the time. And he said, gosh, guys, I got to take you down to the VFW, right? And we're thinking, well, we've never been to a VFW before. It sounds like, perfect time for a new experience. So we head on down to the VFW, and we're the youngest people by a mile, right? But we're having a great time. And Marty starts to share, a little bit about his military experience in the Army. And Marty would tell us, I served during the Vietnam era, but not overseas in Vietnam. He was very, very clear about that. And we said, well, Marty, tell us about why you enlisted into the Army. How'd that come about? He said, it's actually a funny story. Because when I was 17, 18 years old, I went to one of these shopping plazas that had all the different recruiting offices set up, right? And what he did is he'd go into the Coast Guard recruiter and say, hey, listen, what does the Coast Guard have to offer me, right? And they'd have a conversation, and he walked out and he'd go to the Navy recruiting office next door and said, hey, sir, my name's Marty, looking to join the Navy. What kind of opportunities are there for me in the Navy? Good conversation. Move on to the Air Force recruiter, and then the Army recruiter, same sort of bit. And then finally he got to the Marine Corps recruiting office. So he walks in, Marty's feeling pretty good about himself. And anyways, he shakes the guy's hand, sits down, and says, hey, sir, how's it going? My name's Marty. I'm looking to join or enlist in the Marine Corps. And just interested, what does the Marine Corps have to offer a guy like me? What kind of opportunities are there? And Marty said there was kind of an uncomfortable silence. I think that the recruiter was kind of taking in what Marty had asked, and he said, he looked at him directly in the face and said, son, what exactly do you have to offer the Marine Corps? I mean, you could imagine Marty's embarrassment, right? Like, that was not the reaction he was expecting. It was not the reaction he got, the 4 or 5 times previous at the other recruiting offices. And so Taylor and I are like, Marty, what'd you do, man? Like, he kind of got you there, didn't he? And Marty said, you know what? I didn't say another word. I stood up, walked out, and enlisted in the United States Army. That's a true story. Now, I do like to share that to pick on my Army buddies, but that's a true story. But can you imagine, what do you have to offer the Marine Corps? And friends, I can't help but to think, what if our relationship with God was such that we came before him in our sin, in our disobedience, begging for forgiveness, and he said, yeah, but what do you have to offer me? Like, what's in it for me? Like, I see you in church, and Graham, and I see that you think you're a pretty good person, but what is it that you have to offer me? The truth? Nothing. There's nothing that we have to offer God. There's nothing we can say, nothing we can do, nothing we can achieve that can absolve the sin that we've created in our lives. Yet even when we had nothing to offer God, he looks at us and loves us still and has given us so much. And if we look in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 19, we read about this triumphant entry of Jesus entering the city of Jerusalem. And it's really interesting how things work out, because the people of the city, it says they laid their cloaks on the road as Jesus made his way into Jerusalem, and a crowd of disciples just cheering him on, and blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord, they said. And right after this, the Pharisees are like, I don't like that terminology, Jesus. Your disciples are calling you the king. They say, rebuke your disciples. Shut them up. They're using this terminology that's synonymous with the Messiah. Calm them down, Jesus. And Jesus is thinking, these guys still don't get it. They don't understand it. And he turns to the Pharisees and he says, if they keep quiet, the stones will cry out. Jesus doesn't need our worship. He commands it. He's due. He's worthy of it. He desires it for us, but he doesn't need our worship. If you keep quiet, if we keep quiet, he'll breathe life into these stones and have them cry out and worship and praise. We have nothing to offer God, yet he has offered us or given us everything we need, church. Man, my encouragement to you, let's be thankful and praise the God we serve, the God who, when we had nothing to offer, he has given us everything we need. Amen.